Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review for tonight's match review of Newcastle United 2, Brentford 1, in which Newcastle United clinched a vital 3 points on their return to the Premier League. I am joined tonight by Meow Muckers, Stato, and Billy. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening to all the Magpie Massive and all the beautiful people out there in Viewerland.
Good evening.
Yes. Well, Newcastle moving up the table. There was talking points from the game last night, which we'll, of course, touch on and, of course, give you our player ratings. So will you agree with them? Did anyone really stand out 100%? But first of all, we need to do our man of the match poll, gentlemen. So we'll each have a pick, and then we have a combined one for the fourth. So let me just get this up here. So man of the match. Okay, Billy, we'll let you have first choice tonight.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I wonder who I'm going to... Sandro Tonali, please.
Sandro Tonali, yeah, I thought as much. Alex.
Man of the match. I'm gonna put Kieran Trippier in this scoring. I think he deserves to be in the vote, definitely.
He does. I am going for Livramento because I thought he was excellent. Now, we need to jointly agree on a fourth, guys.
My instinct is Barnes,
And
but
mine too. Yeah,
open to others if you think there's another suggestion.
It's Barnes or Joe Linton to me.
Yeah. They were similar, weren't they?
Emma, how dare you say Nick Pope? Dear God.
Yeah, Joe Linton and Barnes, I think, were both really impactful. It's a knife edge for me.
We've given Barnes a bit of shit in the past, haven't we? But he's come good the last few games. So I think we should go with Harvey Barnes.
Yeah. Huge honourable mention to Joe Linton.
She was joking. Good bloody job. Right, so there it is. Your man of the match poll is now up and voting starts now. Is it Tonali, Trippier, Livramento, or Barnes? We will come back to that at the end of the show. So get voting, guys, as to who is your man of the match. I don't think there's going to be much debate about it, but we'll see. We'll see how the viewers go. But anyway, news before we start the review of the game, of course. Fabian Schär, Billy, has penned in a new contract now. He'll be with us next season till the end of 2026 season.
Yeah. I hope he's not a first-team regular next season. I hope he's a part of rotation and doesn't play every week. But he's an experienced hand in the squad. And so, yeah, I think it's probably a good choice for another year.
Yep. I mean, he's deserved it, hasn't he, Alex? He hasn't been great this season, but he has been. Well, he was decent last night. I mean, I saw a few people say he was terrible last night. I don't understand that. But he, what he's done for us, he deserved the extension, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think he does. We need him because even if we buy another player, we're going to need another right-sided centre half. You need a squad, not just a first 11. Jamal Lascelles is highly expected to be going. Emu Kraft is going to be covered despite being okay. So we still need, regardless of whether he's had a really poor season in terms of his own individual performances. He's helped us win a trophy. He knows the club inside out. We still need to keep him around until we get the back line sorted. So another year at least, yeah. Depends who comes in and how well they do. But yeah, definitely need him a bit longer.
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to go for a centre-back in the summer, aren't we? It's not like we're not going to sign anybody. I think that they really want to bring somebody in alongside Botman. But hey, Burn and Schär incredible centre-backs, really. We're going to be a bit spoiled for choice by the looks of things. So, yeah, people are commenting on the new logo. I do apologise because I did put the new logo out earlier on today, but I immediately got told off by Susan because it wasn't the finished version. It was only a prototype. This is the official new logo now, which will be going on our new merch when it launches. So there it is, big on the screen there. That is the new Toon Review logo. 2 magpies. Alex got his wish. And there you are. So that is the new logo for the Toon Review. Susan has done a fantastic job on that. Really, really pleased with it. So once again, well done to Susan for that incredible job. And that will be going on the merch. However, before we sell any merch, Lady Sam gets a box full of merch before anybody else, because she's been loud and proud in the chat in our family group today. She hasn't got any merch because, of course, when she joined, we'd stopped doing it, and there wasn't a lot left in the old box of merchandise. So. Peter Proudlock has been a member for 17 months on the channel. Thank you, Pete. Whether he meant it or not, just give that goal of the season award to Tonali already. Well, he said, Alex, 70% cross, 30% shot.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. This is the thing with I'm not a coach. I don't know what they're trained to do officially with the cross, although that was a very unorthodox way from what we normally see and how people cross a ball. Mm-hmm. He got his full weight behind it. It looked like a proper shooting technique. The technique didn't look like a crossing technique to me, but maybe it was more of a let's just absolutely boot this into the general area and see if we can cause an own goal, a scramble, a fumble from the goalkeeper that just went really just perfectly. But it was extremely hard hit, and you don't hit crosses that hard. Who the hell's going to get on the end of that?
Well, that's what we were saying in commentary. Who's going to put a header on that? Their head would end up in the time. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Knock you out, yeah. That would be like Kieran Trippier early on in the game getting knocked in the face. It was harder than that bloody shot.
It was. Is he just being humble, Billy? Do you think he's just being humble? Because we know what Tonali's like. He's quite a quiet guy as it is. I've watched it numerous times today, and I do not believe he went across that ball, because he looks up immediately, sees where the goalkeeper is, and the angle of the shot, because he puts his laces through it. Nobody is going to dare get on the end of that with a head. I'm just wondering if he's been a little bit, I don't want to make a big fuss about it.
Yeah, I think he's been modest. If it's 30% saying he's meant that, that's him thinking, "Oh, I'll have a dig here," and if it slides off my foot, someone might get on the end of the cross.
Yeah.
To me, I think he's meant it, whether he's admitting to it or not. Like everyone's saying, if you're going to hoof the ball at that pace across the goal, you're looking for a deflection of someone into the back of the net. Well, how often does that happen? Sometimes. Yeah. But for me, 30% is good enough for me. I think he meant it.
Well, this is what Tonali had to say regarding the winning goal.
The winning goal, an unbelievable strike, but did you mean it?
I think it was 70% cross and 30% shot, but I think it was a power shot. It was difficult for the keeper. It was difficult for me. And I think it was a little bit lucky, but I'm happy. I'm happy because the team is the first. The team is so important for me, and this win is so important for every player.
You scored the winning goal. An unbelievable strike, but did you mean it?
We're not sharing it anymore.
Yeah, that was it. Just very, very humble, I guess.
Just modest, isn't it? Just modesty. The fact he didn't look surprised when the ball had gone in, and he went and jumped on the fence to the leases. I think he's meant it.
Yeah, sort of gives you that indication, doesn't it?
Well, if anybody wants some ASMR viewing of that, go and watch the replay of it. I think the Sky replay does it quite well, although it'll probably be on the NUFC one as well. But watch it with the sound right up, and the crowd goes pretty quiet as he thumps it, and you just hear a whack. It's like a crow scare in a field. All you can hear is that ball being struck. It's magical.
It is, and you just look for various angles, and you think, holy shit, I think he's been very modest. I really do. It's one of the best goals I've seen scored in a long time, to be honest. And that's what he is capable of. Very much capable of. Now, one worrying thing that Eddie said after the game yesterday regarding injuries, Isak had a problem, which is why he was taken off so early in the second half. Kieran Trippier, they're putting it down to a bit of cramping in his groin area. And Joe Linton, of course, his knee. Eddie admitted that he didn't think Joe Linton or Isak were 100% last night to start the game. Joe Linton's been nursing a knee problem for a while now. And of course, it was heavily strapped up. Isak, again, a groin problem. He didn't think that he was fully fit as well. I mean, that's got to be a worry, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, the amount, when Joe Linton was down, the amount of spray that
well, when it eventually started coming out the can, that was didn't he?
No, but he was holding it down for 15 odd seconds on his leg.
He was.
He's got something awfully wrong with him in that leg. The amount of strapping that poor guy's got all over his shoulders, his hamstrings, knees, calves. It's because he's so muscle bound. He's just got so many issues. So we just need to try and keep him fit. Again, we've got through this Brentford game, but we need to nurse these players through the rest of the fixtures. There's not long left, and then they can have a break. There's no international competition this summer, so there's no need for. Yeah, it's fine. We just need to get them through. This is where we need the medical team to come in clutch. Last year they were a big letdown. This year, hopefully, with Bunce in and a bit of a revamp, hopefully they can help do us justice. But it's not necessarily their fault if people don't heal in time. They don't heal in time. But I think probably an important one. Joe Linton and Isak, of course we want them, but we do have replacements. I don't really want Kieran Trippier getting injured because as much as we like Emil Kraft,
fantastic.
I don't really want Emil Kraft playing the next 9 games. No offense to Emil, he's a good player, but if we want to be going in and winning a lot of these games, we do need our best players.
Absolutely,
and Trippier is one of our better players, so it would be nice to have him available.
I mean, the thing is, Billy, there's no easy game in the Premier League anymore, is there? And despite the fact you look at the fixtures and think, yeah, they're definitely winnable games, it doesn't work like that in the Premier League. Look at Ipswich last night, went to Bournemouth and won. It did us a big favour, of course, but then you look at Villa going down to Brighton and winning 3-0. There's some strange results going on. You can never ever truly work out how the Premier League is going to work out fixture wise and results wise, because every week there seems to be a surprise somewhere. But these players, I mean, we could tell last night, Billy, Isak didn't have a great game. He was poor last night, but now that we know that he wasn't fully fit, that kind of maybe explains it.
Yeah, I mean, even the game at Leicester, they're fighting. Well, they haven't shown much of it yet, but at some point, surely they're going to show some fight to try and stay up.
Yeah.
So that's not going to be an easy game. However, I don't think we'll not win it. But there's no easy games in the Premier League, especially away from home. But we're at the stage of the season now where points away from home at places like Leicester, I don't know. We need to win them games. And we have to be on our mettle to do so. But I'll see us doing that. We've got too much at stake, I think, to not.
Yeah, there is a lot at stake. And I think it's this time of the season, like you've just said, Alex. I think, certain players would probably miss games through injury if it was sort of earlier in the season. But now you're into the sort of the clutch part of the season where the most important stuff goes on, where you're challenging, you know what you've got to do. You're kind of knowing that there's not an international tournament in the summer. It gives these players just patch them up and get them on the field.
Yeah, we need to thrash out as many points as we can. This is one of those moments where you play players even if they're not 100% fit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think you do make that call now. There have been cases where we've not done that in the past, like earlier on in the season or like last year, give Joe Willock a long time out, let him rest, let him come back. Now is not the time for things like that. If you get a bad knock, you're probably out for the season then at this point.
Yeah.
but we need to just play everybody. Everybody's got to fight through the pain barrier. We have got players that do that. Not all of them want to do that. Players like Sean Longstaff, who gets a lot of jip from people. He did play through the pain barrier for many months because he wanted to do right for the club, because and that's very admirable. Silly for himself and his body, but very admirable that he wanted to just keep going for us. Yeah. So anybody that's willing to put their body on the line and keep going to get us wins, like Joe Linton at the moment, it's not fully fit, but he straps up, he gets on with it, he's a warrior. Yeah. It's nice to have those kinds of characters, definitely. Not that you have to be like that, because obviously we just need to keep these guys fit and healthy. You don't want to run players into the ground so they're useless. It's not good for them. It's not good for their career or for us as a team in the long run, is it? So,
Sophie says stick Gordon up front and Willock in instead of Big Joe and Isak against Leicester so they can rest. There is that option, of course. There is that option. Willock is
Willock
fit.
And Gordon.
Gordon and Barnes is playing well. Barnes would love to play against Leicester, of course, wouldn't he? So that would be that's a possibility if Isak's not fit. I know everybody's going to say, well, Asula, come on. He's not playing Asula for a reason. And we have to trust Eddie with that, whether we like it or not. We'd love to see Asula more on the pitch, I guess, but the manager knows best. Chris and Evermore, good evening, buddy. Don't know if I'm alone, but not doing backflips at Shares extension. He's done most of the season, and we need freshness in there. Squad depth I get, but still a bit of a meh for me. Well,
we can't lose everyone though, Chris. We just can't.
Yeah, I think there's more players I'd rather see the back of in the summer, to be honest, than Fabian.
We're already going to have to replace 4 or 5 as it is with expiring contracts and people not good enough. Then adding more onto that list, we can't have a squad turnover of like 8 or 9. Like, we're not Chelsea.
The ladies in our WhatsApp group today and the TTR group were, unbelievable, talking about Fabian Schär and how amazing he looked at his contract signing. And, oh, my God, it was sickening. Give me a bloody bucket. It was getting outrageous to the point where I had to tell our mods off. Rachel, Julie J.
Why are we naming them?
I'm calling them out.
Ladies.
Disgraceful. Anyway, Dan Robinson, who's been a member for 16 months now on the channel. Leicester is the best chance to rotate. Give our heavy hitters the chance to rest and recover. We're going to need to grit teeth and power through. Yes, we are. Absolutely going to have to power through. No doubt about it. But that's what the end of the season is all about, Billy. It's about just getting the bandages on and getting out there on the field.
Yeah, it's the always on the prize, isn't it? There's so much at stake, as I said earlier. This Champions League qualification is massive for us and could really be our future. Talk about PSR and things like that. This Champions League campaign for next season is massive. Yeah. Massive it really is for us.
Absolutely. Did Julie say that? Fabian Schär's easy on the eye. Bloody hell. Julie Dorset saying Fab is hot. Listen, listen, you've got 3 very good-looking presenters every night of the week on this channel for you. So, you've got your fair share of hotties. Dear me. Anyway, guys, I just want to pause here because I found out some very sad news today. I didn't actually see in the chat last night, but one of our really long-standing subscribers and a massive contributor to getting the Toon Review off its feet with equipment and things like that. Michael Marsden, sadly, his mother passed away on Friday. She had been quite poorly for quite some time, but Michael was very, very close to his mum. And I've spoken to Michael today on message, and obviously he's devastated and doesn't quite have any words at the moment. So listen, I know quite a few of you guys sent Michael some lovely messages in the chat last night. Obviously, I was watching the game. I didn't realize until Susan told me this morning. So, Michael, we're all thinking of you, mate. You know where we are. We're always going to back you. We'll have you back, and just let the grieving process go, and we'll see you back on the channel very, very soon once you get sorted out. She was a lovely woman, and it's a big shock to Michael's family. But thoughts and prayers are with your family, Michael. You're a great bloke. Your mum was a lovely woman. And we wish you and the family all the best in the upcoming weeks. Thoughts and prayers are with Michael and the family. Right, let's move on to other parts of the game. Now, I've seen today that Mr. Gallagher thought that Brentford should have had a penalty for the challenge by Bruno on Damsgaard.
Which one? The first, the second one.
The first one, where he not the one where he went through the back of him. I still can't believe he got away with that. But the first one where Damsgaard actually nicks the ball away from him in the box, and they both sort of collide. Dermot Gallagher thought that should have been a penalty.
I don't think that one was. I thought the one where he pushed into the back of him, to me, was.
Yeah, that one. I mean, we couldn't believe that didn't get called, because that was reckless.
That was so clumsy.
Yeah,
to kind of push him from the back.
I feel like Bruno being pushed in the back cancels out the other one for me morally.
Well, a lot of people did say that, yeah, because that was a penalty, but he blew for a free kick to Brentford after a clash of heads. I'm not sure what the referee saw there.
It's a 50-50. It happens.
I mean, speaking of crazy refereeing, it happened at Anfield last night as well. Did anybody see Pickford's challenge on Nunes?
Well, Tarkovsky's on the match.
Tarkovsky. Well, talk about a follow through, dear God. But yeah, the Nunes got booked, and it should have been a penalty to Liverpool. Although I'm not pushing more penalties for Liverpool by any stretch, guys. But I mean, I don't know what's going on with the referees. And to be honest, I mean, Bruno kind of got away with it. I think I've watched it in slow motion, and to be fair, Damsgaard did get the ball first, and we've seen penalties given for us when Anthony Gordon's been involved in that kind of thing, and we've won penalties. I don't know. I think we got to. I mean, listen, we did get away with it a little bit because Brentford hit the post, of course. Pinnock, Alex, hitting the post not long after they'd scored the penalty, and I think had that gone in, I don't think we're getting back in the game.
No, there was an atrocious period of defending. Like, I thought we were really good in the first half, and I thought we were really bad in the second half. We just dropped way too deep, and they were able to just absolutely barrage us with shots. I mean, it is admirable the amount of people that were putting their bodies on the line to block the shots, but I think we're good enough to not let them get that far. So often, it was just, shot after shot. It was ridiculous. And the Pinnock header, I don't know why nobody's picking Pinnock up. He's massive. You've got to pick him up in the box. We do have a funny Liverpool fan in the chat as well. No,
he's always in our comments. Him, I think he put one in last night as well, saying he can't wait for Isak. Good luck, mate.
You're not entitled to anybody. You're going to have to pay an awful lot of money, and I think we are starting to get to the point now. In my opinion,
we don't want Nunes in a swap deal, though. Absolutely,
no, of course not. But I feel like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, you two, but I feel like we're starting to get to that level with Isak, where it's Real Madrid or
I agree with that.
Who else can he go to? Yeah. I think he's starting to get too good for some of the clubs he's being linked to. I think he's past
too expensive,
Arsenal now.
Alex. Too expensive as well. I mean, these clubs
I don't think he's appropriate for Arsenal. I don't think they can afford him. I don't think Arsenal are big enough at this point in time for where Isak needs to be. He either needs to stay with us or go to somebody who is royalty in football. I don't think he should go to somewhere in between because we're going to be there soon anyway. So what's the point?
Well, I think that's why Liverpool are trying to scramble. Like, when you hear these journalists coming out and saying, they're putting this player and this player in a swap deal because they haven't got the money to buy him outright. So they have to look now at different ways they can afford him. Todd Bowley says Isak to Liverpool won't happen because he's on his way to Chelsea. C15 Rice says Barcelona. There's no way.
They can't afford
I mean, Barcelona can't afford to put players in their squad right now. They just don't have the money.
Liverpool are also losing the spine of their team. They're going to have to sort out a contract for Van Dijk unless he goes. Well, Trent's probably going. Mo Salah's probably going. So they've got three big players in other positions they're going to have to try and sort out.
Well, the
how are
strong
they going to
rumours
get a
today, Alex,
striker as
that
well?
Salah
in
might
Isak?
be staying, so that there is strong rumours today on Salah. So,
Well, yeah, but if he does, that's going to be an enormous contract and a
absolutely.
lot of
Yeah,
money that
100%.
goes
Yeah.
against purchases, right? So
Yeah,
whether they buy new or retain existing players,
Mhm.
they're going to have to get all the wallets out to afford it. So it's not going to happen, Liverpool fans. You're not going to get those three either kept or replaced and Isak. How much money do you think you've got?
Well, they were getting Livramento, Lewis Hall, Bruno, and Isak a few weeks ago.
Well, and Kirkes from Bournemouth apparently at left back. You're looking at 400 odd mil in a window.
Yeah.
Yeah,
mental.
okay.
Jens with a super chat saying, horrendous referee. What about our home game against Liverpool? Gravenberg on Bruno, Dyke on Gordon, and Dyke on Richarlison. Nunes deserved that, by the way. Okay. Listen, the refereeing standards are abysmal. We know they are. Michael's in the chat. There he is. Thank you so much for that. It really means a lot. Michael, you don't have to say thank you, matey. Just don't be a stranger. You know where I am as we spoke today. Just stay in touch, mate. Anytime you need to talk, you know where I am. Garant says, oh, Paul, you'd go mental if the Scousers signed Kubo. Yes, I saw that link today. So, yeah, not impressed with that link at all. Because I genuinely believe he'd be a good signing for Newcastle United. Although, I mean, Billy, what did you think of Mbeumo last night?
I thought it was excellent. I thought him and Vissa and Shada, not just from an attacking point of view, but the actual desire to get back and out the defence was absolutely superb. Great energy, great endeavour.
You made a point of that 2 or 3 times in the commentary, didn't you? Saying,
yeah.
Oh, look, you know, and I think, wasn't it the last few minutes, it was Mbeumo back, furthest player back to win the ball, to try and get Brentford back up the field.
Outstanding, just outstanding energy and desire. Just brilliant. It's what you want from your forward players. Mm-hmm. And of course, the dangerous as hell going either way. So I thought Mbeumo was superb last night,
Yeah.
Despite being well defended by Tino, incidentally. It was a really good battle.
Was. Listen, he's done well the last 3 games, hasn't he? He's gone against Jared Bourne, he's gone against Mo Salah, and now Mbeumo. And for me, he's passed the test. Jens with a super chat saying, Nunes with a nasty kick on the Southampton player deserved it. I'm not sure, like, 2 wrongs make a right, to be honest, but never mind. Anyway, Alex, the penalty that Brentford got, it was poor. It was a poor decision by Nick Pope. I don't know what he was doing. Now, there has been a lot of people saying that, you know, Nick Pope, it's his left-hand side. He's very slow getting down to his left. The penalty itself, and Mbeumo had scored his last 5 to that side, but he refused to dive to the left. He went to the right. What do you make of it?
Right, well, I'm going to have to do this for the rest of the season, begrudgingly.
Mm-hmm.
All of these players are going to get a free pass because they want us a cup.
Yeah.
However, we are still going to criticise where relevant. We know we love Nick Pope. He's done a lot for us and he's helped win us a cup. However, he wasn't great in the games leading up to the final, and he wasn't particularly great yesterday, in my opinion, either. Like you said, Mbeumo for the pens, it displayed a graphic on the telly that the last 5 penalties he's taken were all aimed to his right, goalkeeper's left, and Nick Pope dove right. And I just don't think that's the right thing to do. I think it's nuts. I think you should have prepared for the opposition's penalty takers. And I don't know what kind of psychologist is working with him that would suggest, right, if he's gone 5 left, he's going to go the 6th right. In what universe are we playing super bluffs with rock, paper, scissors? I don't get it. I don't get it. In every day of the week, you should go the side that he normally goes. It's a 50-50. I don't understand. And then we're not even talking about the actual giving away of the penalty, which was kind of unforgivable. That was really poor as well. He did somewhat redeem himself later in the game by being really helpful towards the end and seeing out the clock. But yeah, the whole penalty situation, giving it away and the attempted save. You know, I'm not criticizing that he didn't save it, but go the right way. You should have prepared for that. If it still goes in, fine, fair enough. It's a penalty, but go the right bloody way. Do your preparation. Honestly, it just frustrated me a lot, as it probably did everybody else.
Jens with another super chat saying, do you guys remember Nigel? I presume he's talking about Nigel de Jong on Ben Arthur and with the Wigan guy and Zobbia. That was horrendous. That when it's Liverpool, they all feel so bad for them.
Haidara, Haidara
Yeah,
getting
they were
injured.
horrible. Spenny fan,
ridiculous.
no, they were. Yeah. Spenny fan Chris says, really hope Spennyman will be following Newcastle's lead and getting to Wembley. Moors face Rochdale away in the semi-final of the FA Trophy on Saturday. Have Tottenham just scored, Billy?
No, Newcastle 1, Man United 0. Chris Dobie just beat Luke Littler in the darts.
Oh, right, okay. He's beat Luke Littler, has he?
6-2.
Wow.
Stupid little mank. I'll take that.
Alex does not like.
I don't like Luke Littler.
No, you don't. No.
Because he's a proper arrogant Man United fan who slags off all the other teams.
He is.
Very gobby.
He does. Claire says Pope's shoulder stopped him diving left. Sell him in the summer. I mean, you have to look at that penalty as well, and the way that how slow he goes down. Originally.
Well, it's something we don't expect from Pope. He's usually quick off his mark to get out. Slow as hell to get out for that ball. If he'd been as quick as usually, he wouldn't even have been a penalty. It was poor. Anyway, it's time for the player ratings. So as usual, let's see if you guys. I need to find a notepad because I really should be doing the spreadsheet.
Did you note down that I predicted 2-1 with a Tonali goal?
I forgot about that, Alex. Sorry.
And he's forgot about it now as well.
I have. What did you say?
I think I said it would be 2-1 and it'd be Isak, but I think there was a chance for Joe Linton and Tonali to maybe get on the score sheet. So I was, apart from the Joe Linton shout, everything else was fairly accurate.
I think you said Bruno penalty as well when Nick Pope dived in the wrong way.
I didn't say Bruno. I think I said they would score 1, but I didn't say it was a penalty. Definitely not.
In the 63rd minute.
I think he's on the wind-up, Alex. I think he's on the wind-up.
It's all recorded, so it's fine. We can go back and double check.
He did.
Yeah. Okay. Peter Garthwaite, super chatted, saying, if you were Eddie Howe, would you drop Pope? He's not going to drop Pope. I'm telling you now, there is no way he is dropping Nick Pope, guys. It's pointless even discussing it because he's not. Nick Pope is his number 1 till the end of the season. Then we'll see what happens with goalkeepers. Right. Put in the chat what your player ratings are. Nick Pope, Billy.
Yeah. At fault for the goal. Not out quick enough. And then diving the wrong way when we all knew. Well, he must have homework where he's looking at where penalty takers are taking penalties. Must have. Yeah. All goalkeepers are scientific now these days. And if he hasn't, there's something wrong with that. I'll give him a 6 because I thought apart from that, it was okay.
Didn't Tim Krul used to? He
wrote the notes on everyone. Yeah,
he wrote the notes on his water bottle, didn't he? So potential penalty takers and for shootouts as well. He really did his homework.
Well, there's a reason he was the shootout goalkeeper for the Netherlands because he was good at penalty shootouts. He had the famous one where he got subbed on.
Yep. Cheel with a Toon Review gifting of a membership. Thank you, Cheel. Much appreciated. If you are the recipient, please do say thank you in the chat to Cheel. And that was Ian Skinner. Alex, Nick Pope.
I'm going to go for a 5. Distribution was not as bad as it normally was. He didn't kick 5 balls out for throw-ins yesterday, which was nice.
Yeah.
Ended the game strong, was brave, came to collect everything, ran down the clock efficiently. But the giving the penalty away and then the actual attempt to save it, I thought were both really poor. So it's going to stick right in the middle at a 5 for me. So the positives are detracted by the negatives.
I've gone right in the middle of you two. I've gone 5.5. So we're all along the same lines with that one. Kieran Trippier, Billy.
He's very much back to his best, isn't he? Just a great bit of experience and nous in defence there. And again, yesterday was superb, I thought. Despite having half the pace of Sharda, had him in his pocket, really. Give him an 8.5.
8.5. Alex, I mean, you said at half time, it's the timing of Kieran's tackles, isn't it? It's his ability to time the tackles. It's not so much that he's lost the pace now. He's just absolutely outstanding with the tackles.
Yeah, it was elite tackling. Like that for anybody watching who's maybe even younger than me, that is how you standing tackle. Like standing tackle, I feel like is a bit of a dying art these days. It's just blocking passing lanes, and it's not, or maybe the odd slide if somebody's running down the wing. But that proper, because if you mistime that, they're gone. They're absolutely gone. And
absolutely.
He does it so well. It's a proper classic standing tackle. Yesterday, he got 8 tackles, 9 out of 10 ground duels, won as well. It was fantastic output. And considering, I think Sharda's possibly the fastest player on that pitch. I'm sure Mbeumo and Vissa can give him a good foot race. But it's probably Sharda. He's absolutely rapid. And Trippier had no issues at all. I'm going to go with a 9. I thought it was absolutely brilliant from him. Rolled back the years. It was great.
And even his Achilles heel of defending that back post and crosses, he was fantastic at that as well yesterday.
Oh, it was so good. Timing. Yeah. Timing, concentration, fantastic.
You never seem to lose that, do you? The elite defenders or in the past that, who've played on until late 30s and, the likes of Silva, etc. When they lose pace, but they never lose that timing, do they? And then I think that's why they're able to play for so long without worrying about pace against them, because they've got that timing. They know when to judge the tackles. They know flight of the ball and the pace. It's incredible how they do it.
If he keeps that up, when he does leave us, he doesn't need to drop down. He can probably go and play in Italy for another year or two and have a bit of fun. That was really impressive from him yesterday.
Yeah, 9 for me as well. Really pleased with the way Kieran's performance since he's come back in. Livramento, Billy.
Again, fantastic performance from Tino defensively and going forward as well. He really has kind of come into his own on that left-hand side. And we're not missing Lewis Hall much, I've got to say. I'll give him a 9.5.
9.5 for Tino. Wow. Alex?
Yeah, I loved his performance. It's been everything we've said in recent weeks. Just the running and stamina. I think relentlessness is probably a good word when talking about Tino Livramento. I don't really care if he's on the left or the right. I just want him I just want him in the team because he's always there to defend, but he's always such a nuisance in attack as well. I love his central runs, the inverting. I've still got no problem with his left-footed dinks to the centre and to the back post. They're brilliantly weighted.
I think he's been working on that left foot, definitely. I mean,
it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 9 as well. I think him and Kieran Trippier both get 9s from me. I thought he was fantastic. I really like the balance of the 2 fullbacks.
Should have had an assist, really, shouldn't he, as well, with that cross for Isaac?
Yeah, first 2 minutes of the game. Yeah,
I wasn't expecting to be this happy with the fullbacks when we lost Lewis Hall. I'm quite surprised, but I'm happy with it. So,
right, the centre backs. Dan Burn first, Billy.
Yeah, it's just run of the mill game for Dan Burn, wasn't it? Solid defensively, gave his all. Give him an 8.
8 for Dan Burn. Alex.
Well, have you seen the Peter Kay sketch where he just boots the ball?
Have it.
That's what Dan Burn did every single time they tried to play a ball over the top. He just got rid of it. It was a diving header, and every header must have gone.
Alex, I think you might find that it was a cat that Peter Kay punted.
No, it was a football.
No, it wasn't a cat. It wasn't. It was the cat.
Was a football.
They were blind.
It was a football.
Was that not the blind one where he was?
No, he's warming up with some Sunday League people.
Yeah, Sunday League.
And they're
all right, I'm thinking of a different one. Then I'm thinking of a different one.
No. They're dinking it around, warming up, and he just leathers it into the garden.
Oh yes, I remember that one.
And choose his gum, didn't he? Have it.
Who kicked the cat then? And don't say the obvious.
Kazuma.
No, he had a bell on, and there were blind footballers playing, and he kicked the cat instead of the ball because the ball had a bell on it. And the cat
don't know. Someone in the chat.
I don't know. That wouldn't be allowed to be shown, surely. It
was. But
toy cat, surely.
You didn't see the cat fly away into the air. Obviously, you just heard it meow very loudly, as you would if you'd just been punted. But never mind.
Anyway, we're rating Dan Burn, guys.
Yes, let's move on.
Yeah, he just headed away everything. He was brilliant. He's great at the defensive stuff. It did stop a lot of Brentford's attempts with balls over the top, to be fair. I'm going to go with an 8. I thought he was good.
8. Yeah, same as me. Hey, we're all on all along the same lines tonight. People are saying they did remember that, but they haven't told me what advert it is, but they do remember it. Anyway, Fabian Schär, Billy.
Yeah, I didn't think I mean, I've heard people criticise his performance last night. I thought it was fine. Don't really remember any massive mistakes he made. Some good passing as well. Some great ping balls to the far side of the pitch. I'll give him an 8 as well.
8. By the way, it was the advert was for Paddy Power, the one I'm talking about. So there you go. I've gone 7.5 for Schär. A lot better yesterday. In particular, one free kick he hit was just sensational. Right onto the feet of Harvey Barnes. It was back to his best with the passing. But I liked what I saw, and he blocked a shot as well from I think it was Sharda in the second half. It was the first half. Got in the way. So, just getting there. He's getting there. Alex?
I'm going to go for a 7, but it was still good. Good final performance. Good yesterday. But I do still... I hold him to quite a high standard. And he still only got 2 accurate long balls, even though they were better. His passing range was a lot better. I thought defensively there was still a few issues. Positionally, there was a lot of people just free in the box, a lot of space. There were a lot of problems. Let's be honest. We wouldn't have been shocked if Brentford had drawn that game with us. Pinnock off the post. There was a lot of attempts and really chances that they could have taken, possibly should have taken. Yeah, I'm going to go with a 7. I do still expect more because we're going to play a lot. We're going to play a lot of teams better than that, and we need to be better defensively if we're going to keep getting 3 points. So it wasn't perfect at all.
Doug from Dugout Channel. Good evening, buddy. He's asking about Schär signing new deal. Are you guys happy he's staying? I think we are, but there's been a bit of a mixed reaction in the chat, apart from the ladies. The ladies are very pleased that they're going to get to ogle Fabian Schär for the next year and a bit. So, mostly our mods, it has to be said, are very big fans of Fabian Schär. Right, Sandro Tonali, Billy.
Yeah, well, this is the first 10 of the night. An outstanding performance. Defensively, he's fantastic. He's got his foot in some really crucial tackles and interceptions to stop Brentford breaking through. And then you've got that goal, haven't you, which is just phenomenal. So 10 out of 10, all day, every day.
I watched another Newcastle channel last night, and I'm not going to say who they are, but they said nobody was deserving of over a 7. They said most of the team was a 7 last night. It's funny how people sort of read the games. It really is. It's very strange.
With their eyes closed.
Well, possibly.
How do you
Alex,
watch that and give Kieran Trippier no higher than a 7?
I know.
On what planet? Honestly. Who are we doing?
Tonali, mate.
Yeah, we'll go with the 10 just because of the goal, how the goal was scored. I think just gives you 3 points. We rate a bit differently on this channel. I'm not, we're going to do it properly. He gets a load of bonus points for just being. He's just the cover magician. He's always available. If anybody gets a through ball from the opposition team and we're in a bit of danger and we all start to go, all of a sudden, bang, Tonali's there, robs the ball back. It's all calm, redistributed. It's every single time he just puts out fires. I mentioned it at half-time yesterday, and he did it again in parts in the second half. And then to score from a corner pretty much, just so you guys know as well, SofaScore's credited XG for that shot attempt is a flat 0. People do not score from that angle. Full stop. There's not really many recorded goals from that angle. It's very few. So yeah, it's an easy 10. He's a really important player for us as a linchpin, as a coverer, physicality, speed. Hopefully we can start to get him chipping in with a few more goals, because he likes to have a good shot from the edge of the box, and he's got just immaculate technique, as we've seen. So it's wonderful to watch him play football.
10 for me as well. But I have to say, even if he didn't score that goal last night, I would have given him a 10 because I thought his performance was outstanding. Every blade of grass covered again. And we had an interesting conversation in the chat last night, didn't we, Billy? Saying, I mean, Alex, you joined in at full time with it, about who he reminds us of. And people were saying, you know, he reminds a little bit of, you know, Gattuso's in there and Pirlo, a bit of both of them mixed in, which, you know, if he turns out to be that good, then we've got a player on our hands.
I'll go back a little bit further. I thought about this last night, and I think Dimitri Albertini is the one he's...
he was a player. He was a player. Albertini, no doubt about it. Yeah, I'd go with that. But just, I would have given him a 10 anyway. But the fact that he scored that goal and then was so humble, which I believe he's being, by the way, I believe he's being humble, because it doesn't matter how many times somebody watches that goal, nobody can say that he was crossing that, because he looks up and he sees where the goalkeeper is. It's clear as day. And the way he hits the ball, that's not how you cross. So I just think he takes the limelight away from himself.
It's the anticipation of that, isn't it?
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
I was thinking about this last night. Like when you think your team is about to score a goal, you get ready for the moment, don't you? If somebody's about to wind up at the edge of the box to take a shot, we all go, and we're ready for that shot in case it goes in. It's same if a corner goes into the box, you're ready in case it goes in. But nobody was ready for that, so everybody just went.
Well, you listened to our commentary last night, Alex, and you find the exact same thing, because me and Billy,
everybody was shocked.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh my God, Tonali's just scored!" It was like, you know, we weren't expecting, and I thought it was flying behind for a goal kick. To be honest, I thought
psychologically, it's weird as a fan to celebrate that.
I thought it was at the back of the net at first. It was just unbelievable goal.
Yeah. Right, Bruno, Billy.
I didn't think he was at it last night, if I'm perfectly honest. I think that might be the reason why we weren't as good as we were against Liverpool. I think one or two players weren't quite at the races. Bruno, give the ball away a few times. Got caught in possession a couple of times also. Yeah. I mean, he didn't not try. He was at 100%. He gave as he always does. But I'm only going to give him a 7 because I didn't think he was having the greatest game of his life.
Alex?
Hard to disagree. Not his finest performance. He was still okay in the moments, especially in the first half that we were dominant. He was integral at recycling the ball, working the opportunity, and we should have scored more than one goal, I think, in the first half as a result of him helping in that control. But yeah, I think I'm noticing his pace more and more. He's just very good at shielding it so he doesn't lose it, but his pace really isn't quick at all.
He hasn't got any.
He tried a few killer passes that didn't come off, but we'd rather we would rather that he tried those.
He's normally better than that, though, Alex, isn't he? At those sort of passes he was trying, he was just overhitting everything last night.
What about his corner? Because nobody got on the end of it, but I really liked his corner.
Yeah, Billy said it on commentary. What a wonderful corner it was, and I can't believe nobody took a chance on that. It was a beautifully placed corner.
Dare I say, should we be putting Bruno on corners? Based on that, that was an interesting corner.
For me, Tonali needs to be on set pieces. I just can't believe that he's not. I mean, I don't know what goes on in training.
On the edge of the box.
Yeah. What you scoring him, Alex?
7, same as Billy. 7. I think that's a fair score.
I've given him a 6. I thought he was well off it last night, Bruno. Not work rate wise, not at all, but just with the ball. Not great. Normally, you know, but listen, Bruno's made a rod for his back with his performances for us in the past. And, you know, I mean, 6 is a decent performance. You know what I mean? But normally he's right up there. But look, every player is not going to be a 9 or a 10 every single game. But, you know, Bruno, Eddie said that some of the players last night were rusty. So, you know, hopefully he'll be back to his best on Monday. Joe Linton, Billy.
I thought I had a very good game again, Joe Linton. typified by one moment near the end of the game where he took the ball off Mbeumo, then went up the pitch and fed Wilson.
And that's after he was treated for his knee problem, by the way.
Yeah, phenomenal game. Had another beast mode game. I'll give Joe Linton a 9.
9. Alex?
Yeah, I think he gets bonus points for just his marauding again. He was 13 out of 18 duels total. 7 out of 10 in the air as well. Just in the mixer for everything. A couple of tidy runs through the middle where people just couldn't take the ball off him. Not his best performance, but really positive, and I hope we can keep him fit for the run-in. I'm going to go with an 8.5. I thought he was really solid.
I've gone with an 8, but exactly the same as you guys. I thought he was really strong last night, Joe Linton. But the problem is we don't want to push him over that line where he's crippling with an injury. I mean, when we saw the amount of, he had tape on that knee, he had bandages on. It's obviously given him grief.
Maxi the bandage. I mean, Joe Linton's turning into that.
Oh,
He's got so much tape and stuff on him.
Yeah, Joe Linton's leg looked like Maxi in his prime. It was unbelievable last night.
That little flick in the first goal. Good grief.
Well, just sensational. It was absolutely beautiful, and I don't think many people noticed that, by the way, because it was right at the beginning of the move, wasn't it?
Barnes did something similar early on in the season as well.
Yeah.
There's a few of them do that. They must practice it because it gets us away on the counter.
It took about 3 Brentford players out, though, Alex. That's the thing. It took about 3 Brentford players out, and Bruno found himself in acres of space to get forward, and then the rest is history, kind of thing. So, absolutely brilliant. Jacob Murphy, Billy.
I don't think it was his greatest game, if I'm perfectly honest. Another one that was not quite at the races. However, he's come off the pitch with another assist. So, for that alone, you've got to give it a higher mark. So I'll give him 7.5.
7.5. Alex.
I mean, 3 key passes and the cross that was his assist was brilliantly weighted. It was a fantastic cross. And you want your forwards to either score or assist. And Murphy is doing that consistently. He got an assist for Alexander Isak in the cup final. He's got another one yesterday. I'm going to go with an 8 because could he do slightly more in game? Yes, but you pay your forwards to contribute, and he's contributing all the time. He deserves nearly as much credit as Isak for us this season, because we wouldn't be where we are in the table or with a cup without Jacob Murphy. That's for sure. And for people talking about purple patches, surely this is far too long of a good period to be a purple patch. He's been really good for pretty much the whole season, and we're in April now. I think he's just had probably the year of his career.
Oh, without a doubt, this has been his pinnacle season, no doubt. I've given him a 6.5. I'll tell you why, Alex, because I think apart from that cross, I think he was dreadful. I think his passing in that first half was honking. He couldn't hold on to the ball. He gave it away. Alex, you can give me... Listen, I've seen people in the chat agree with me with 6.5. Billy, I said it in early doors in the game. Some of the passing that he was losing the ball. He couldn't control it. His passing, he just couldn't find a black and white shirt. But listen, take nothing away from the cross. It was absolutely superb. And that's what we know that Murphy has in his locker. And Isak will thrive on balls like that. Just tap-ins like that. Just thrive. But yeah, I mean, look, if he's capable of that, I want to see a little bit more, though, from last night. I have to say, I was a little disappointed with his performance.
If he keeps assisting or scoring, I couldn't give a toss.
Oh, I couldn't give a shit.
Same with Isak. Same with Isak. I've stopped criticising his physical contributions because if he keeps scoring, who cares?
Oh, if he's a 6-0 game and gets an assist or 2, I couldn't give a toss, Alex. To be
honest,
like
Harry Kane. I hate his football, but he scores all the time for Bayern Munich. So it's really hard to criticise. And we all just keep scoring.
We do the England watch-alongs. We always slate Harry Kane, and then he goes and scores all the time. So, I mean, nothing will be compared to what happened in the Was it the Euros this year when we all looked like absolute mugs for a substitute? When we were all banging on for Ivan Toney to come on came Ollie Watkins and he scored within 2 minutes.
Wow, that was only because Toney had been used and
Yes.
Ollie Watkins hadn't been used, so it seemed like a weird sub at the time.
Yes, but we went viral for that, Alex.
We
That
did.
clip went
We
viral.
viral for the wrong reasons.
For very wrong reasons, yes. Harvey Barnes, Billy.
Again, another fantastic performance. He's really come into his own the past 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
And probably had an even better game than we did at Wembley. I thought he was outstanding.
Mm.
I'm going to give him a 9.5. Like, I really thought he had a fantastic game last night.
Good grief. Did you ever thought you'd see the day that Billy gave Harvey Barnes a 9.5? Unbelievable. Alex.
He was our highest rated player on SofaScore as well.
Was he?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
I'm going to give him... Oh, I think I'm going to go... I'm going to go with the 9. I think I'm going to go with the 9. I think he was really, really unlucky. I mean, he technically got an assist for Tonali's goal, which he'll be thrilled with that.
It is an assist.
Easiest assist. He gave him the overlap and got an assist. When has that ever happened? Ever? You play the overlap and you somehow get an assist for that. Bananas. Anyway, Harvey Barnes data-wise, 7 shots, 4 blocked, 3 off target. So he was trying. He should have really had probably his own goal or helped Isak get one when Isak messed around with it.
We're going to talk about that in the next player, Alex. So
so that was unfortunate. 3 key passes as well. I remember he lost the ball in midfield on the left and he worked his arse off to get back and retrieve the ball. He worked his absolute socks off. He was good in attack. I liked his attitude as well. He played angry yesterday and people were messing about. He was shouting at them. That's what we want to see. I liked everything about his performance yesterday. More of that from Harvey Barnes. I'll give him a 9. It was really good.
Ash says that's like an ice hockey assist, Paul. The assist to the assist. Yeah, you get 2 assists in ice hockey, the goal scorer, and then 2 assists, which you get points for. But listen, I love angry Harvey Barnes. I have to say, I love the way he absolutely destroyed Isak in that incident. He absolutely berated him. And I love to see that because Harvey clear as day said, "Why didn't you shoot?" I thought it could have been, "Why didn't you play me in?" But when you look at it back, he actually says, "Why didn't you shoot?" Clear as day.
Yeah, he wanted him to finish. He
wanted him to finish. Yeah, because
100%. But Barnes has got good history, right? Barnes has got an FA Cup with Leicester. He's got a 15 goal scoring season with Leicester previously. So he's not, this is not his first rodeo. He's fairly experienced.
Yeah. I just loved how angry, and when his face coming off at half time, it was unbelievable. Me and Billy were having a right laugh because look at the face on Harvey Barnes. Red. Oh my God. I didn't want to be Isak in that dressing room at half time facing him. Anyway, I've given Harvey Barnes a 9 as well. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Harvey Barnes at the minute. He's stepping into some big shoes in Anthony Gordon's absence, and we needed him to step up, and I truly believe he has. So well done. Right, Isak, Billy.
Well, to coin a phrase, he scored a goal, but his actual gameplay for me was dog water. It was dreadful. And I think when he gets in these one-on-ones that he's missed 4 or 5 this season, where it seems easy to score the miss and he's missed, I think he thinks that's just too easy. I need to make it a little bit hard to keep him in the game, and he's got to be more clinical for me in them situations.
Do you think when Isak's got time to think, Billy, that's where you see his little bit of a weakness, when he's got time to think? Possibly. Because he's an instinctive striker, isn't he?
He's got to be clinical. He's got to be more clinical when he's one-on-one with the keeper. It's ridiculous, some of the misses he's made this year. Brentford away, I think he did it at Fulham away as well. He's done it at home once, I can't think he was against, and last night. Now, they're 4 goals that really should be on our account. Yeah, but he scored a goal. I won't give him a 7.5 just for the goal, really.
Alex?
Yeah, it's a similar story to Jacob Murphy, isn't he? He didn't have a great game in terms of off the ball stuff. It was okay. I mean, he's come out better with his duels compared to what he normally does. He's 4 out of 8 ground, 2 out of 4 aerial duels. one key pass, and obviously he got his goal. But it just felt like every time we played the ball to him in a forward position, especially with his back to goal, he can't get round unless he gets a fancy spin off. He can't do anything with it. But again, he scores all the time. He's got 20 goals in just the Premier League. So, and he's scored in I can't remember if he scored in the FA Cup, has he? He scored in the Carabao Cup, certainly. Yeah. So I've got to give him a mark. I'll go with an 8 purely because he's turned up again in a game where he was struggling a little bit. He could have had, I think if he'd been more
he could have had 4
playing for a hat trick. Well, he could have been playing for a hat trick if he'd come with the right mindset. But he left with a goal, and
how amazing is that he didn't really play very well, but he could have had 4 goals. It's madness.
It's absolutely crazy.
I don't think he's going to agree with me on this, but I've given him a 6, and I probably would have given him a lot lower had he not scored the goal. I thought his hold-up play was dreadful. His passing was dreadful. I just wasn't impressed, but kind of, listening to Eddie after the game, it kind of made sense that he wasn't at 100%. He wasn't at full speed. And I just think when he's, like we've just said there, when he's got time to think about things, you see a little bit of a weakness in his game. But because he's so instinctive as a striker, and he knows where the goal is, he's incredible to watch when he's got that, just give him the ball and he's instinctive with his shot like that. I think his heading is abysmal, by the way. That's one thing of Isak's he needs to improve on, is his heading. Because
what you mean by heading.
Well, that was on a plate for him, the chance that Livramento made for him in the first 2 minutes of the game. That was just I mean, can you imagine like a striker like, I mean, I'm comparing him to Shearer here, but Shearer would just go through the defender to get the header. And I just think he needs to be... Mark's saying, okay, Paul, would you like to sell Isak in the summer? What a ridiculous thing to say. I mean, have a word with yourself, Mark, will you? I mean,
the header you're talking about, it was a 0.26 XG.
Yeah, there you go.
So you score 1 in 4 of them on average.
Yeah.
I know that was a no, hang on a minute. That was a right foot. No, ignore me. It is if I can click on it. Oh, a 0.23. So yeah, less than a quarter from a header. So it's not guaranteed, but
I agree with what Mike said. He misses more than he scores, but he scores when it matters. It's a very good point, that. Look, Isak is absolutely brilliant. And in no way in hell do I want to sell Isak in the summer. I'm talking about his performance last night. One game. No, watch the game back. He's anonymous in the game. Most of it. But I love Isak. My God, I'm just going off that one game. End of story. And I would have given him lower had he not scored the goal. To be fair, I don't think he was good at all. Well,
there's 3 or 4 times this season where he had an empty net to put a ball into, and he hasn't done it. He tried to beat someone else. And not clinical enough for me sometimes.
But Billy, we did sit, especially first half. Oh, Isak's lost. You made comments as well saying, "Oh, Isak, he's got to do better there. Or he's got to hold the ball up better. Or that pass was bad."
Yeah,
it's just.
I've marked him because he scored. Yeah, if he hadn't scored, I'd probably give him a 5.
He scored, and that's what he's there to do at the end of the day. So, but what a ridiculous thing to say. I mean, I think Mark's an Arsenal fan or a Liverpool fan, just trying to get me to make a point of saying, "Oh, if you're not happy with him, we'll have him." Never mind. Right, substitutes, Alex. Who came on when?
It was 66 minutes. We got Joe Willock and Callum Wilson both on.
Okay. Billy, Joe Willock.
Yeah, again, I thought he was impressive in what he did. Got us up the pitch, energy-wise. Again, he's trying to get back and defending. Yeah, I'll give him a 6.5. Given he's only on the pitch for half an hour, I'll give him a 6.5.
Okay, Alex.
Yeah, are we doing both or
no? Just Willock.
Just Willock. Yeah, I thought he was okay. Really, really good drive and runs on the left. I think he was in 2 minds about whether to slow it down or try and go and get a goal. He didn't have much help. one situation where Callum Wilson played it across the 6-yard box. That was Joe Willock's time to shine. He should have been there, and he wasn't.
Yeah,
I'll go with a 6. It was okay.
Yeah, 6 for me as well. I mean, what I'm liking about Willock is he's getting more involved, isn't he, when he's on the pitch now? You know, there's a few weeks
he's looking
ago,
fitter and
yeah, definitely. It was a worry. Callum Wilson, Billy.
Again, better than what he's been of late, but still not good enough. Just not mobile enough. No pace in him whatsoever. His body's finished now at this level. But he was nuisance value at least. And on another day, may have got a goal. But I'll give him a 5.
I just think he's so immobile now. It's you can't help but notice it when he's trying to run. He's just ridiculously slow. Alex?
Yeah, it's again. I really don't want to criticize the people that have helped with the cup win too much, but it's. Does anybody else watching?
This is talking about last night, Alex. So
No, I agree.
Don't worry
Is there anybody else watching who thinks that Callum Wilson still has pace and is quite mobile? Because all three of us, and I don't know what's wrong with. Well, we do know what's wrong. It just looks like
it's a shame. It is a shame. It's hard. It's hard watching him. I do feel for him.
And the half a yard is noticeable at this level.
Yeah.
It just
It
is, and we're not trained individuals. We're just fans, and it's really noticeable. But yeah, it was his drag, his cut back across goal, and the shot were better. He could have contributed to a goal of some description. That's what we need. We just need him to be fox in the box. Get him inside the box and try and feed him. But we can't have him trying to dribble and engineer opportunities from deeper because he's not got the legs to do it anymore. I'll give him a token 6 with Willock. I'll be nice.
Token 6. I've gone a 4. Meh. I'll say meh. Right, who was next on? I think it was 2. It was very late, wasn't it?
Kraft, wasn't it?
Kraft on the 89th minute for Trippier, and then Miley came on for Barnes very late on.
Yeah, we'll leave them 2 out. There's no way you can vote in that time. Eddie Howe, Billy.
We've got the 3 points. Picked the side we'd have all picked. Weren't quite the races, but yeah, I don't think there's anything down to Eddie. I'll give him a 7.5.
Okay. Alex?
Yeah, 7.5 is fair. I think that's a good score from Billy. I think I'll go with the same. I'll copy you. Sorry, but I do think he deserves a bit of credit for making sure everybody's heads were screwed on right. I think the first half was okay. I think we started well. We had some really good opportunities in the opening passages of play, and it's good that we went in with the right attitude, the right fitness levels. Because it could have been very different off the back of a cup win. It looks like he's definitely got through to the lads. Well, not that he needed to, but it looks like they do respect and listen, and they're on board with this because they did turn up. We got 3 points. So yeah, 7.5 from Eddie.
7.5 for me as well for exactly the same reasons. Mark says, sorry for my comment. Should have thought about it before I said anything. Been an avid Newcastle fan for 30 years and just wanted to defend Isak. 60 goals in 101 games is amazing. It is, Mark. It's tremendous.
If there's any consolation, I think Paul's being quite harsh with Isak as well.
Yeah, but Alex, I'm used to that on player ratings, though. I mean, it's all right for you to be Simon Cowell, but when anybody else is, you pick them up on it.
I'm not calling you out. I just think you're being a little bit harsh on him rating-wise.
Does anybody know last night why Tyndall was booked? Because he looked extremely angry when it happened.
Yeah.
Like he wanted
encroachment.
Because he literally wanted to kill somebody. I mean, he looked like a Rottweiler out of control on that touchline. And me and Billy were laughing because he just with his suntan, which obviously, but he had his suntan and then he showed his teeth. I mean, you could turn the floodlights off in St. James's Park and just use Tyndall's teeth. It was incredible. He does like a good tan and a moisturize, does Ward Jason. Peter Garthwaite says, if we sell Wilson, would you sign Rashford?
For cheap on the end. Well, he's not going to be for
He's not
cheap.
gonna be
Because
cheap,
Man
is he?
United are
Let's
either
be
going to want
honest.
to keep him or
Yeah,
sell him for
absolutely.
big bucks. So
Well, they want
Yeah.
40 million from Villa for him, but he wants 200k a week, and we're not going to pay him that.
Nah,
I'd rather we just went in a different direction, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Right, before we go, let's do the poll for the viewers' man of the match. Right, any idea who's won it?
How
guys?
much has Tonali won by, do we think?
Well, he got 84% on the website, so
I'll be disappointed if Kieran Trippier doesn't get a couple of votes because he was fantastic.
Interesting. Abs says, if you think Paul is harsh on Isak, see how he treats. Abs has got this thing with me and Bruno, hasn't she? Abs hates when I vote when I give Bruno's marks, but I've given good marks most of the season. I don't know where that's come from. Anyway, Tonali won the viewers' man of the match, guys. 81% of the votes. Kieran Trippier got nothing, Alex.
What?
I'm
Poor
pulling your leg.
Trip.
He got
He
7%.
was really good.
He got
Oh, there we go.
7% of the votes. Livramento got 9% of the votes, and Harvey Barnes 4%. So, absolute clear as day winner was Tonali for the viewers' man of the match. So there you go, guys. That is the review done and dusted. Thank you so much for watching. Is Eddie Howe's press conference tomorrow? Does anybody know? Because he normally doesn't do it on a Saturday or Sunday, does he? So I think it'll still be tomorrow.
probably, yeah.
Well, if it is, I'll be live at 11:30 with the latest news and conference reaction. So make sure you join us for that. But thank you very much for your super chats and, of course, your memberships. If you do enjoy the show or have enjoyed the show, or if you're watching this on a rerun, please do give it a thumbs up. Very important to the channel to keep those coming in. And don't forget, if you are new to the channel and you haven't yet, please do subscribe. It is free to do so. And make sure you hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload or a live show in the future. Those analytics are still telling me that there's a lot of people out there watching this channel who aren't yet subscribed. It's free, guys. Just hit that button and come and join this fantastic community officially. And a big thank you to Mamaroo Records for sponsoring the channel, of course, based in Whitley Bay, for all your music needs. Pop in and see Steve for all your CDs, your vinyls, your music merch, sport merch, gift cards. Tell him you're a TTR viewer, and he will give you a cracking discount. If you can't get into the store itself, check them out online. It's pinned at the top of the description. Well, thank you to the mods. Thank you to Alex and Billy. But the main thank you to you guys out there for coming and joining us tonight. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday evening, folks, and we'll see you very, very soon. Good night.
How are the lads and lasses?
Come back and check out some green.